Hello, welcome to the Long Island Weather Update. We are going to briefly mention the earthquake, but I'm going to talk about the earthquake in another video. But there was an earthquake today that was felt in a lot of the area. Unfortunately, I did not feel it at home. I heard a creaking sound, thought it was just the wind. I didn't think anything of it, but apparently that was the earthquake. But a lot of other people felt it, but not everybody felt it, all right? So they're making like everybody felt it. I know people who didn't feel it. So this was an earthquake in northern New Jersey at 4 miles north of White House Station at 10:23 a.m. Today, and it was a magnitude 4.8. So we're going to talk more about the earthquake in another video that'll come later tonight. So stay tuned. Well, not that much later, but anyway, you can see we've got plenty of clouds in and out of the clouds today, pretty much today across the area. Let's make this satellite loop a little longer so you can see what it looked like in daylight. You can see all the clouds, not too many showers, just a lot of clouds around as we're dealing with this low pressure area. That's the surface low, and then you got this large upper level low circulation here. We'll go to the CONUS view here. I'll have to put this up to 60 again so you get a chance to see here. So you got this large, again, there's large circulation here that we have here, and you'll notice a number of brush fires that have been breaking out over the south now as it's dry and windy over there. And you can see lots of red flag warnings in effect for that area. Got freeze warnings in effect for other areas in the Appalachians. Let's go, whoa. All right, let's go look at our observations right now. So 45 degrees, 43 degrees at Islip, northwest wind at 9, gusting 16. Kind of breezy for today across the area. Dew points fairly low all around throughout the day with a west-northwest type of wind going over your highs. Highs generally around 50 degrees, maybe some low 50s, upper 40s, and mid 40s toward the Forks. But other than that, highs generally around 50 degrees. Lows generally around the mid 30s, except for West Hampton, which somehow gets to 28 degrees, of course. Looking at our climate statistics for the day. Let's do that. Climate statistics for the day. Islip had a high of 50, a low of 35. That puts us 3 degrees below normal for the day. Central Park had a high of 50 and a low of 38, 6 degrees below normal for the day. So we are below normal. Starting off April below normal, but we'll see. The month will probably still wind up being above normal, but right now we're starting below normal because of that trough in the east and that cutoff low. Showing what the sky was like today, plenty of clouds around. I did walk around the pines for a little bit, but plenty of clouds, mostly cloudy, broken skies, but I think you'll see some breaks of blue from time to time in the sky here, and made for a nice, pretty sunset. So let's go look at the weather map here. You'll see again that cut off, that low with like little troughs rotating around that you see here on this weather map. And you'll see here on the models that we're going to be dealing with that a little bit more tomorrow. And then it slowly starts pulling out Sunday. So Sunday, I think we're going to finally start to get into some more sunshine. And of course, Monday is your eclipse day. Right now, it still looks like we're going to have sunshine, though we may be dealing with some high clouds. So let's go look at your HRRR model here. The HRRR model 0Z. We should have most of that in. And see if there's any. I don't think we're going to see too much shower. It's very widely scattered, any shower activity. And most of it's going to wind up being east. So maybe the Twin Forks get in, especially Montauk maybe gets in on some of the showers. But other than that, it's very widely scattered. There's that low. And then finally, as we get towards Sunday, it finally moves to the south, and we'll finally get into some more sunshine, I think, by then. So let's look at our dew points and wind flow. And you'll see west-northwest winds turning a little more northerly tomorrow. Temperatures, dew points generally stay dry in the 30s. And then on Sunday, we're continuing with a northerly flow, keeping us in the dry air, but you still have that instability that we talked about. So we look at the sounding here. We'll look at the sounding for tomorrow around noon, and you'll see we'll still have that instability. Probably plenty of clouds as a result. Yep, it's still there. So, but as we get towards Sunday, it should be better off. Go look at our temperatures here. And the temperatures for tonight probably dropping into the mid-30s again. Tomorrow, still staying on the cool side. Probably highs around 50 degrees. with that northerly flow and plenty of clouds, then lows in the mid-30s, still staying in the cyclonic flow. And then Sunday, maybe we warm up a little more. Jersey's probably going to make it above 50, probably 50s there, probably mid-50s. Long Island may still be in the low 50s and still kind of breezy and cool kind of conditions out there. So let's go to the RGM and look at our sky cover model here. Keeping it brief because I got to talk about the earthquake in another video. So you'll see plenty of clouds around for tomorrow, in and out of the clouds. Similar to today, some breaks of blue, perhaps. Sunday is the day that we'll see more in the way of sunshine. It won't be completely clear, but especially toward the afternoon, it looks like we're going to break out into some more sunshine on Long Island. And then Monday, the eclipse day, we're going to have to worry about some high clouds. It won't be enough to obscure the sun completely, but we will have some cloudiness moving in. So unfortunately, no really clear days in this pattern that we're going to have here. And generally, the further west you are, if you're in western New York, this is where you're going to see more in the way of clouds. The clearest skies could probably be over Maine and New Hampshire, maybe Vermont, eastern Massachusetts. But it'll still be enough to see. Now, here we're getting a partial eclipse. I know everybody's been talking about it to ad nauseum. I'm tired of hearing about it. I know it's a big thing, all right? But, not everybody is going to be able to afford to get into the path of totality, all right? This is, so I know you've got to be in the path of totality. Well, for those on low income, we're not going to be able to travel even a couple of 100 miles upstate, to do that. There's no, but I'm going to talk about that, I think, as we get towards Sunday. But the good news is we're going to have a partial eclipse on Long Island. It's going to be like 90%, so it's going to be more than the last time. So even though it won't be clear, we'll still be able to see it. Though, again, don't look at the sun directly. Use eclipse glasses if you can find them. Now, some libraries are offering them, like Belmore, for instance. Belmore Library is offering them, but they're only for Belmore patrons only. So if we go, well, you know what? I'll talk about that when I talk about the eclipse, which will be another video. All right. But you can see we'll have some high clouds, but there'll be some sunshine around for sure. So I think that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update. Keeping it brief. No weather update tomorrow. I'll be back on Sunday. Don't think I'm going to do a weather update tomorrow night. Maybe if something interesting happens, but other than that, have a good night, and stay tuned for the video on the eclipse. I meant, not the eclipse, the earthquake. Everything's starting with an E lately, but the earthquake that we had, that unfortunately I didn't feel. But for those of you who did felt it, I hope you... probably some people were scared, but we'll talk about that in the earthquake video. But anyway, fair weather for the weekend, cool. At least there's not going to be any rain for the most part. So for once we can say we're not going to deal with any rain. Have a good night.